Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lah wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'. Alhamdulillah, all praises be to Allah. We ask for his help, we ask for his forgiveness, we seek refuge with Allah from the wickedness of ourselves and the badness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be misguided for him, and whoever been misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness there's no God except Allah, and only him, no worship, no associate for him. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger and his servant and his messenger. O Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, as you have give good prayers to Abraham and the family of Abraham. And O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, as you have blessed upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Verily, you are most worthy of praises and most giving towards your creature or your creation. Our topic today, inshallah, concerning the number six of the summary of honoring knowledge. Then the last topic that we took is about to go to the straight path that will, the clear path that will make you arrive to the knowledge. Then we say that we talk about it. Then we say that whenever anybody want to learn, then he must go to the way that will make him get the knowledge. And he said there that from two things that we learned last week is about you have to actually memorize the few texts that will compile of the most right opinion about that knowledge. Yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah, and second thing, you have to take the knowledge from a person that will make you understand, from the person that will teach you, not just by reading the things by yourself. So that's the thing that we learned before. That's the way that should be when you learn any knowledge. Okay, so today our topic is the sixth summarization of honoring knowledge. Al-Ma'kidus Sadisu, sixth summarization. Ri'ayatu fununihi fil akhdhi wa taqdimil ahammi fal muhim. Taking care of or carefully to make sure in the arts, the art of the knowledge, any knowledge that you want to learn, you have to take care to carefully in taking in receiving the knowledge, and you have to forward make the first for you to take from knowledge, al-aham fal muhim, whatever is more important, most important. Then after that, what is important? Everything is important in that knowledge, but you have to take the most important first in taking the art of the knowledge. Qala Ibn Jawzi rahimahullah fi saydi khatirihi. Ibn Jawzi said rahimahullah in his book Sayyidul Khatir, Jam'ul ulumi mamduh, jam'ul ulumi mamduhun. Gathering knowledge, or gathering the knowledges, not just a knowledge, but knowledges, plural for knowledge, ulum. Jam'ul ulumi mamduhun. Together, knowledge is actually well praised, being praised, good things. He said, min kulli fannin khudh wala tajhal bihi, fal hurru muttali'un 'ala al-asrari. From art, every art, take it. Don't leave anything. Mean that from a knowledge that you want to learn, you have to take everything, and don't ever ignore anything from it. Mean that when you want to learn about Islam, so anything concerning Islam, the akidah, the ibadah, and then from the ibadah about the salat, and the fasting, and the hajj, and the zakah, you have to learn everything. Learn everything. But we will explain about what mean about learning everything. He said, from every knowledge, take, and don't ignore it. Falhurru muttali'un al-asrar, because unconfined person, because the person that look into the whole package of the knowledge, or the arts, he considered as a free person that is not being confined in certain place or certain area of the knowledge. Falhurru, an unconfined person, muttali'un al-asrari, he can look into every secrets of the knowledge of anything can be known by a person that look into everything, read everything, learn everything. But we will explain after this that when you took the knowledge, and we say everything, by summarization, mean knowing everything from an angle that you actually know this knowledge is about what. This is about what. You have to take every knowledge about that. Don't ever say that I like this, I don't like that. But like when we were in our primary or secondary school, we already take from ourselves to like or dislike something, and that is wrong. Like a person like science doesn't like geography, or the person like geography doesn't like history, or a person take accounting doesn't want to learn about biology. That is actually something is really wrong. For you, for a person, for the starters, when in a school, in our school syllabus, they put everything inside there. Is for you, for to make sure that the student or the child or the person get the whole picture about every knowledge, from history, science, geography. So you actually have to learn everything. And when you are learning in primary or secondary school or high school, it's not really go into deep of that knowledge, just surface. And everything that you learn is just on the surface. And you should learn everything. You should not have that at that age or that time, something that we say that you prefer something other than anything else. Like when you are small, you are a child, when you are actually growing up, in eating, you should not have that prefer what or not. You don't like vegetables, you like this one. No, you don't. You should not have that kind of preference. You must eat everything. Eat everything. If you want to develop liking something or disliking something after the growth, after you have already old, you cannot have any growth, then take anything from you, whatever you like. You want to eat this, doesn't want to eat any other thing, because the growth already stopped. Your growth already stopped. But the first 5 years, beginning of the child life, it needs everything. It needs protein, it needs carbohydrate, it needs everything. When you already gain your growth, then from that point you can start to select you like it or not. Because for the child, at the in the beginning of the growth, having every nutrition is actually really important. So no preference at that time. Same as the knowledge. When you start to learn about knowledge, you have to actually take everything. From every knowledge, you have to know. If you learn about science, then you have to know about the physics, the chemistry, and the biology. You have to take everything. You should not have that separate actually intention to not want to. I want to learn science, but just the mathematics. You don't want to learn about biology. This is wrong, because you have to take the whole. Even though, like we said before, uh, the certificate examination, actually every student is learning everything. But when they reach 16 year old, and start to be channeled, this is the science stream, this is the art stream. So actually at that point, the importance of knowledge actually become locked. Anybody that can learn everything, that learn everything, even though just a surface knowledge, not deep into the knowledge, is actually a person that can know every secret. He can know about the politics, about the social, about this the biology. Everything can be connected from each other if the person learn everything. If he just learn about math, you don't ask the math person about psychology. You don't ask them. For them, it's actually just 1 plus 1 is 2. You don't ever think more than that. So just straightforward. So, but when you actually meeting a person that having problem in their psychology, their mind, you cannot talk to them like a math person. You cannot say that 1 plus 1 is 2. Just follow, because the person will not actually want to know want to know the right answer. Maybe they want to understand why I cannot do something, why I cannot understand something. You don't say to them just 1 plus 1 is 2. So that thing will make the person run away. So, like, similar for the person that learn about psychology, they should not left out the knowledge about math or about other knowledge. So means that anyone that want to be to honor the knowledge, they have to learn about the surface of every knowledge, just for the knowledge, for knowing that knowledge, so that they will not be like we say after this, because he said a person that is actually unconfined can see into everything, every secret. Yaqulu Sheikh Shuyukhuna, uh, the Sheikh of our Sheikh, actually this is name Muhammad bin Mani'. He is actually Muhammad bin Abdul Aziz bin Mani', born in 1882. 1882, died in 1965. 65. Or in Islamic calendar, he born in 1300 Hijri. So he have many books being written. From among the books that he wrote is actually the book about our topic is actually about the knowledge for the guidance for the student, or the whoever want to learn about knowledge. Muhammad bin Mani'. He was a Saudi citizen but died in Doha. He died in Beirut. But among the book that he wrote, Irshadut Talib ila Fadilatul Ilmi wal Amal wal Adab, guidance for the students to the importance, or the best of the knowledge, the deed, and also the adab, the manners. So in his book, he said, fi irshadil talib, Tullab, he said, وَلَا يَنْبَغِي لِلْفَاضِلِ. It is not supposed, it's not good, or not supposed to, for fadil, lil-fadili, for a good person, أَنْ يَتْرُكَ عِلْمًا مِنْ الْعُلُومِ النَّافِعَةِ, to left out any knowledge from among the beneficial knowledge, any knowledge that is beneficial and will help him in his life and about in his relationship with human and his relationship with Allah. That is what we meant when we say ulumun nafi'ah, profitable or beneficial knowledges. Then he said it's not supposed to, it's not good for a good person to left out any knowledge from among profitable knowledge or beneficial knowledge. Allati tu'inu ala fahmil kitab wa sunnah. Moreover, that the knowledge that will help him to understand the kitab and the sunnah, the saying of Allah and the narration from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Idza kana ya'lamu min nafsihi quwwatan ala ta'allumihi, if he know that from himself that he have the strength to learn it. If he don't have the strength, then it's another story. But if he have the strength, not supposed to, he left out, doesn't want to read or know about that. Like we when we learn about Islam, somebody maybe you say like to learn about the hadith, but he doesn't want to learn about the recitation of Al-Quran. He doesn't make his recitation better, or he doesn't want to know about the tajweed, the way of the correct way of recitation of the Quran. That is not supposed to happen, because all the knowledge is actually going together, going along. You learn the Quran, you have to learn the Sunnah. You should not say that I don't like to learn about the qira'ah or the recitation or tajweed. It's not important for me. Or the person actually like to recite the Quran, like to make better his pronunciation of Quran, but doesn't want to know about the Sunnah. Or the one person that learns Sunnah just want to want to know about the meaning of the hadith, but doesn't want to know about the chain of narration of the hadith, or the rulings of the hadith, whether the hadith is actually sahih or da'if, whether it's actually acceptable or not to be an evidence in our deeds. Not supposed to. The person should not say that I like to learn manners, I don't want to learn about that. Because if you have the strength to learn everything, that connecting each other. Because in Islam you cannot say that this knowledge is good, I want to learn about Quran, and I don't want to learn about Sunnah. Sunnah is actually, you don't know, is okay. You don't ever say something like that. Because knowing everything, like you said before, make you know the relationship between the knowledge that can benefit you and others. Either will benefit from you will benefit from the knowledge also. So he said here, وَلَا يَسُوغُ لَهُ أَن يُعِيبَ الْعِلْمَ الَّذِي يَجْهَلُهُ وَيُزْرَى بِعَالِمِهِ, and is not supposed to, it's not for him to belittle a knowledge that he doesn't know, a knowledge that he doesn't know about it. Like grammars, Arabic grammars. Maybe a person is actually born as an Arab, so he doesn't really need the grammar, because he's talking an Arabic language from childhood, from beginning of his life. But doesn't mean that he doesn't have to take care about the grammars of Arabic language, because in knowing the grammar, because when he talk about talk in Arabic, doesn't mean that the grammars of Arab's way of understanding is actually already inside him. And we know that every nation, every country, every Arab country have their own side of way of talking, that sometimes is actually something that is actually not exist at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or at the time of the companion of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the way they understand the word is like that. But maybe after 1,000 years, people develop a new meaning for certain things, that the meaning is not supposed to enter into the knowledge of Islam. What you say? Like if you can say something, like in the 40s or 50s, the word gay, G A Y, gay, mean happy. It's when you say a person say I'm gay, means I'm happy. But after few years, 10, 20, 30 years, right now, we have a new meaning for gay. It's not the same as whatever our grandfathers, our forefathers understand. At that time, they can say that I'm gay, and means I am happy. So the words or the understanding of words can be swing away from the real meaning after 1,000, after 100, after maybe decades, after 20, 30 years, can be changed the way of the of people understanding the word. So a person, even though he's an Arab, he can understand the Quran, he can understand the Sunnah as an Arab in this time. He cannot say that I don't want to learn about grammars. Grammars I don't need. He cannot say something like that. Because the thing that I don't understand, because the importance of the grammars that actually been derived from the Quran and Sunnah can make you actually protected from false understanding about the Quran and Sunnah. So you cannot say that I don't want to learn. So it's not supposed to, for a person to belittle the knowledge that he actually don't understand. And also he actually look down to whoever know the knowledge. He should not do something like that. فَإِنَّ هَذَا نَقْصٌ وَرَذِلَةٌ, because it is naqsun for a person, for a good person. That type of character, that type of attitude is actually a loss and a blemish for himself, because he should not be like that. Because honoring the knowledge, even though you don't understand it, don't ever you talk bad about the knowledge. Fal-akilu, because a mindful person, a person that have good mind, yambaghi lahu ay yatakallam bi ilmin. It's must for the person to talk with knowledge. We want to talk, you talk with knowledge. Or keep silent, or yaskutu bi hilmin. Or he keep silent smoothly without making any fuss about anybody else. Wa illa dakhala tahta qawl al-qail. If not, then the person will be under the saying of a poet. Atani sahlan dhamma jahla uluman laysa ya'rifuhunna sahlu. Sahal is a name of a person. It came to me that Sahal belittle or actually saying is not good. But when he's saying, he is actually talking bad about something, but unknowingly, Sahal, they come to me that Sahal, Dhamma Jahla, he's saying bad, but ignorantly, not because he know. Uluman laysa ya'rifuhunna sahalu. Knowledge is that Sahal doesn't know about it. Uluman law qaraha ma qalaha. Knowledge is that if Sahal read about it, he will not talk like whatever he talk. Walakin ar-ridha bil jahli sahlu. But because Sahal pleased with himself to be ignorant, that's why he talk like that. So the talking by Sahal, he said about a person named Sahal, that actually mocking knowledges that he actually doesn't know about it. But why he talk about it like that? Because he is actually ignorant. That actually the knowledge that if Sahal read the knowledge, he will not say what he said. But because Sahal actually pleased with himself, accepting for himself the ignorance character, So he continued to be like that. Intaha kalamuhu, he's saying, finish his saying. So because like you said, you don't know about it, then don't talk about it. If you want to talk about it, then talk about it with knowledge. With knowledge, you have to know the knowledge, the art, or the knowledge that you want to critique. You want to criticize something, you have to know about it. If you don't know, then keep silent. It's better. Because sometimes beneficial knowledge, you may be not mastering it, but it is actually crucial. Like we said, grammar. If an Arab say that I don't need grammar, but in understanding the Quran and the Sunnah, you have to you know the grammar, because the grammar protected the meaning of the Quran and the Sunnah. Because the grammar is actually grammar. Arabic grammar is derived from the Quran and Sunnah. Derived from the Quran and Sunnah. So you have to know the Arabic grammar to understand the Quran and the Sunnah. Because like we said, the usage of words or the usage of phrases, even though you are an Arab, by years after the year of the Prophet, the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, have changed something that actually you cannot understand. Even I said, when we look into the topic, such as the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is unlettered, cannot read or write. One of our friend, son of our sheikh, writes up something about that topic in his Facebook. But not long after he posts in his Facebook publicly, comment from not Malay, from Arabs, who actually recite the Quran, know the Arabic language, but they come with the talking that actually is so ignorant. Like we said, when you read what their comment in that my friend, in our Sheikh son's Facebook, it's actually so ignorant, so false. You see, really, actually without knowledge. Even though they are Arabs, talking in Arabic. They take few verse of the Quran, when we give they give the logic, but when we put down the Quran in front of them. So because I actually did interfere in that topic, and I quote to him from Surah An-Nahl. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, no, Ankabut, verse number 48. Actually, this is one of the ayah, one of the verse of the Quran that confirming that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam could never read or write. You want to say anything, you can say, because you have the logic. How can an unlettered person be a prophet? Because Allah Ta'ala wants to make this unletteredness in himself become an evidence that he didn't learn about everything that he convey from the Quran, from the other people. We know something like that. You understand it plainly. So in Surah Al-Ankabut, verse number 48, Allah Ta'ala said, وَمَا كُنْتَ تَتْلُو مِنْ قَبْلِهِ مِنْ كِتَابٍ وَلَا تَخُطُّهُ بِيَمِينِكَ إِذَا لَّارْتَابَ الْمُبْطِلُونَ. You don't ever, oh Muhammad, you didn't recite before the Quran, any scriptures, any book. You didn't recite any book before the Quran. You didn't recite because Allah Ta'ala you didn't have the capability of reciting or reading any other books. Wala takhuttuhu biyaminik, nor did you inscribe one of it with your right hand. Never ever you write something. So the Prophet never ever write something, and also never ever read something before the Quran, and even after the Quran also. Idza lartaba mubtilun. Otherwise, if you can recite and you can read any book, or you can write anything, then the falsifier would have had cause to become doubtful about you. They can have the reason to say that I don't believe Muhammad, because he can maybe he write he read the book at night when people not knowing, he can read the book. But when you cannot read, no, right? So nobody can say that you actually taking the knowledge from that person or that person or that person. So every argument that come from falsifier will be down. So the person, that Arabs, when I put that recitation for Al-Quran, he cannot understand, even though he is actually an Arab. He keep on saying that it is a shame for the Prophet cannot read or write. But sometimes you have to know that Allah Ta'ala make something, attributes or some of the characters, like in himself, in Allah. Actually, it is praiseworthy for Allah, but it's not appropriate for a human. Like the name Mutakabbir or Jabbar. Mutakabbir, it means that actually claiming to be a big person among others. So Allah Ta'ala is actually claiming that he is actually the most, the biggest, the noblest and everything. So that type of character for Allah, attributes for Allah, is actually praiseworthy, because Allah Ta'ala, nobody can say that he's not anything that is actually equivalent to him. But for a person, for human being, you are not supposed to be proud, to be big, to claiming that you are bigger than anybody else. You are not supposed to say something like that. Or you cannot say that the name Mannan. Mannan means that a person that actually after giving anything to other, he keep on saying that I give you this, I give you that. In the manners of a human being, if you do something like that, your contribution, your charity will be actually zero, no reward from Allah. Like Allah said in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh people that who have believed, La tubtilu sadaqatikum bil manni wal adha. Don't ever you make you deny or you make actually unacceptable your sadaqat, your contribution, your charity, bil manni, by keep on saying to the person that you give, I give you this, I give you that. You do something, or you by hurting mindset, you give away, but you say that, take it, lazy person. You say something like that, actually your charity will not be rewarded by Allah, zero. But the same thing, Allah Ta'ala is doing that when He said, we created for you, we make for you. Everything Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, that saying about whatever He gave to us, that is the name of Al-Mannan. That attribute, that character for Allah is actually praiseworthy. Because Allah Ta'ala, when He claim about that, He is actually the only one that giving you that things. But when a person, a human being, saying that, I give you this, you give that, but you get that thing that you give to others from Allah. So you should not ever saying that, I give you that, I give you this. Don't you be mindful. Don't you say anything to me. I give you this, I give you that. For that thing, they say, sometimes things or attributes for Allah is actually praiseworthy for Allah, but not good for us. That's the same as the unlettered. Means that for the Prophet ﷺ, the word unlettered for him is actually the attribute is actually a sign or an evidence that he didn't take the knowledge from other than Allah. For us, it's actually bad. You don't ever go and learn from an unlettered person. You don't say, but some of our friends that follow the Sufi sects, they actually finding the teacher should not have the knowledge from book. The book knowledge is not supposed to. They should be the knowledge from Allah directly. So most of them doesn't want to learn from the Kitab and the Sunnah. So they want to learn from the inspired mind of the guru or the sheikh. So unlettered person in the Sufi sect is really good. We, Ahli Sunnah, the person that we learn from, must be known the source of the knowledge that he get. Did he learn or not? That is the thing. So uh, for that, for that, the understanding, like you said, like understanding, even the Arabs themselves need the grammars, the sort of, so that when he talk or he write or he learn anything about things that been written in Arabic, he also have to have the same the manners and understanding, the same as the people before, not a new understanding. And happen that many of misguided person, misguided people in our time happen to be trying to understand the Quran and the Sunnah by their thought, not by the way that being taught by the Prophet SAW or being taught by the companion of Prophet SAW to whoever come after them. That's the one of the main reason they become divert from the straight path. Okay. Wa innama tanfa'u ri'ayatu fununil ilmi bi'timadi aslain. So when they say that you want to take care about the art of the knowledge, art of a knowledge, is actually you want to take care about it, then you have to make sure to rely on two basic, two base. Ahaduhuma taqdimul ahammi fal muhim. The first thing is actually you have to make sure that you actually forwarding whatever is most important after the important. I mean that in that knowledge you want to learn, what is the most important, or from the among the knowledge that you want to learn, what is the most important? The most important first, then the important, because everything is important, but some things is actually most important for you at that time. Okay? The most important, then after that the important. Mimma yaftakiru ilaihil muta'allimu, actually from among the thing that the one who is actually learning needs to it, need it in doing fil qiyami wa fil ubudiyati lillah, in his work, in his how you say effort to do the task of ubudiyah towards Allah, how to worship Allah. You have to learn that first, like knowing how to pray, knowing how to supplicate towards Allah, knowing about the time that you should do your prayer. You have to know about that, because that is the most important. Because if you learn about the recitation for the Quran, or you learn about the hadith, but you cannot pray properly, then what happened to you? Because the thing that the most important for you first, the most must be forwarded is actually the things that will make you have connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever the task Allah give to you, you have to do it first, the ubudiyah, and also knowing the tawheed, so that you will not be in manners or a situation that you actually doing something is actually shirk towards Allah, because that will make every deeds that you do, every deeds that you did become unworthy in the sense of Allah. The things that actually most important, your akidah, your ibadah, you have to start from that. More, furthermore than learning about how to tafsir the Quran, or how to what you say, in our time right now, we say tadabbur Quran, pondering upon the meaning of Al-Quran. That is most, you have to furthermore in ibadah first, to worship of Allah, then learning about that. You have to make sure your ibadah towards Allah is actually completed, then only you have to go to others. Anything that make you can do, like you want to pay zakah, what is the wealth, or your belonging, that you must pay zakah for it. You have to take out the alms for it. Which one? You have to make sure about this first. Then only you can go deep into the pondering of the meaning of the Quran. A person I met a few years ago, he asked me about something. Actually, quite the question is straightforward. He said, Ustaz, I doesn't recite Quran. I don't know a Quran. Really reciting the Quran. But I ponder upon the meaning of Al-Quran. I open the translation, I read the translation, and I ponder upon the meaning. Try to understand the meaning. He said something like that. Then he said, between me and the student that is actually memorizing the Quran, who is better? Who is better? So I said to him, the student is better than you. He said, why? The student is actually like a parrot, reciting the Quran without understanding. But I understanding the Quran. I said to him that boy, that student who memorizing the Quran, he is actually one of the last protection for this religion. If anybody else doesn't know how to recite the Quran, doesn't know how to say the letters of the Quran, that boy is actually our hope for that knowledge. But you, whatever you understand for yourself, doesn't benefit anybody else. It's just for you, yourself. And you can be wrong in understanding what you understand. Because the boy is actually is protection for the religion. Because the text of the religion is being preserved originally by memorization, not by writings. The writings right now, people say that the Quran already been written, so I don't have to memorize. This is wrong. You actually have that wrong understanding. Because by memorizing the Quran, the more you memorize, the more opportunity for you to get up in the night, at night, to pray to Allah. Actually, by long time, to take long time. If you don't memorize many of the surah of the Quran, then you only will just recite Qul huwallahu ahad, inna a'tayna, Qul huwallahu ahad, inna a'tayna. But once you have maybe the 30th juzu of Al-Quran from An-Naba until An-Nas, you have many variation of surahs that you can recite that will make you love to get up and pray in the night. This is the thing, because that will help you in doing your worship towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes the thing that we say, you don't want to hurt anybody in our saying, but the truth is actually very, very hard to being swallowed. You cannot, you have to know your position, because in our time, many people doesn't make this thing first, doesn't want to learn. That's why we in Al-Qadim, we try to make sure that the first thing that you have to learn is actually by praying to Allah. Because the first thing that the Prophet ﷺ said to his companion when he sent them to go to Yemen, to other places to teach Islam, to call people towards Islam. After the shahada, it means that they offered to those people Islam, and make them to say or to proclaim the oneness of Allah and the position of the Prophet ﷺ. After the shahadatain, the Prophet said, if they accept that, then tell them that that Allah Ta'ala already obligated upon them, is actually compulsory upon them to pray 5 times a day. The first thing after shahada. So that's why a person that doesn't have concern about his prayer, whether it is right or wrong, or doesn't want to know what things that will make his prayer incomplete, or actually unaccepted by Allah. That's the thing that actually many people doesn't want to know. But this knowledge must be put forward before anything else. That is the example. So the first thing, you have to make sure that the most important before the important. From among the things that learning person needed in doing the task of ubudiyah towards Allah. That's the first thing. Okay. Secondly, al-akharu, the other one, ay yakuna qasduhu fi awwali talabihi tahsila mukhtasarin fi kulli fannin. That his desire in his first seeking for knowledge is actually to gather, to get the summarization in every knowledge, in every art. Like you say, take a summarization. What is this topic is about what? What is this knowledge about what? You have to get the whole picture. Not go into everything, but you have to learn everything. Learn everything. That's why when we see our scholars in Islam, like Imam Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah, Imam Malik rahimahullah, they actually in the knowledge of Islam, they know everything. Know everything because they learn. Like Ibn Hajar Asqalani, known as the knowledgeable person about the narrator of the hadith, narrator of the sunnah. He can give you, if you say a name of a person, he will tell you that person, the narrator of the hadith, his death, when he's born, who is his teachers, his students, whoever. He can tell everybody, anybody at one time. So very knowledgeable. But if you look into his biography, his life, he's actually learning all the knowledge. Even though he's mastering in one knowledge, he's learned everything. So for us, it's like that. When you want to start in learning, you have to make your desire of learning to know everything. Hatta idha stakmala anwa al-ulumil nafi'ati, until whenever he already finished many of the beneficial knowledge, the knowledge that is actually beneficial for him, he know everything. Nazara ila ma wafaqa taba'ahu minha. He will look into among the knowledge what is actually equivalent or similar with his nature from among the knowledge. Like we said, what do you like? Things that I will ask our friend just a few days ago. He will start to teach knowledge. So I asked him, from among every knowledge that you learn, what do you love from it? What do you really like about the knowledge? Which knowledge do you prefer? If you want to convey the message, to want to teach people, which knowledge? So he said hadith. So you have to know. After you learn everything, then you have to pick among the knowledge what is actually similar or equivalent with your nature. Wa anasa min nafsihi qudratan alayhi, and he sees that from himself there is the strength for learning it. Fatabahhara fihi, then he must go into deep inside the knowledge. Then you go in deep. That's why Imam Ash-Shafi'i, he learned everything. But when you say the name Imam Ash-Shafi'i, you will directly say jurisprudence or fiqh. Imam Ash-Shafi'i, from the side of any knowledge that is there, you will say that he is an expert in jurisprudence or fiqh or usul fiqh. When you say about Imam Malik, Imam Al-Bukhari as an example, he know everything, he learned everything. But you will always remember him as a scholar of hadith. Imam Ibn Jarir At-Tabari, he learned everything, know everything. But when you say his name, you will directly think about the explanation of the Al-Quran, tafsir. So that's why, because all of them, all of those scholars, they learn everything in their time, but they will go deep into one of those knowledge that he learned, not into everything. Sawa'un kana fannan wahidan, either the art is actually one art only from among everything, or more, or maybe more. Like Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he's a person that being said, when you say about him, you can see he as ahli tafsir, you can see he as a scholar of akidah, you can see he as the scholar of fiqh, you can see him as many of the good side of as scholars. As a scholar, he can be seen as a person that know most of the knowledge of Islam, about tazkiyah, about the the tazkiyah means that the thing that we took before about purifying our soul. So he talk in everything. Then he actually become the reference for everything. Many whoever want to learn about ulum Quran or usul tafsir will refer to him. Who want to learn about fiqh will refer to him. So sometimes a person can be like that. A person that can be like that. Even people at his time actually impressed, saying that as if the Quran and the Sunnah for Ibn Taymiyyah is just like in front of his eye, taking anything he want and telling people from whatever he can. From among the scholars, we can see somebody like that. But from among the scholars, we can see that the person is actually knowledgeable in one part of the knowledge. One part of the knowledge, not all. Maybe two, maybe three. Rarely we will see a person that can be in many things. Min tayyari syi'ri syanaqitah qawlu ahadihim, from among the expert of poem, from the Mauritania. When you say about Mauritania, we have our teacher here, Ustaz Yusuf bin Salah. He's one of the person that learn knowledge at the Mauritania, where they learn Islam there in tent. They don't have any buildings in tent, but all the tent is actually in valley. One valley is the valley for memorization of hadith. This valley for memorization of Quran. This about the grammars. So a person can learn, and they actually there in Mauritania, the way of their learning, all the students must memorize everything. They learn at that valley. So our author right now is actually sharing from among the poem that being said by the expert from those who learn from the Shanakita or the Mauritania nation, that one of them saying, in turid tahsila fannin tammim wa an siwahu qabla intihai mah. If you want to get an art, a knowledge, tammim, then complete it, wa an siwahu qabla intihai mah, and from any other knowledge, then the knowledge that you want to get, so before you finish it, then stop. Don't go into the other knowledge. If you want to get a knowledge, then tammim means that complete it. After you complete that, and then you go to others. Okay. That's why I said the valley of hadith memorization, the valley of Quran memorization, the valley of learning the grammar. They have valleys. They don't have the school, the building. The valleys, you go there because the scholars there is teaching hadith. Some of them teaching other than that. So tammimhu, they said that complete that, and from other than the knowledge that you want to complete, qabla intiha, before you complete it, before you finish it, stop, don't go. Wa fi taradiful ilmi al-man'uja, in the similarities of the knowledge, also you have to stop from coming to it, because if even the knowledge is actually have similarities, also you have to stop. Inna taw'aman istabaqa, lan yakhruja, because two twins, when they are actually running together, they will not go out from the field. They will start looking into each other, but doesn't look at the finishing line, because you will be actually diverted from your attention towards something, because you have to make your attention finish one and then finish the other. That's the way. And by that, when we say about this, the way learning should be is not just listed or being put into a few years that you have to learn. Learning formally to get certificate, yes, you do something like that. But if you want to learn, really learn the knowledge, you cannot say that I want to learn just for 1 year or 2 year. Because like Ibn Hajar Asqalani, if I can say about him, he actually scholars in hadith, in Rijal hadith. But when he was learning the knowledge, he stayed with a teacher in learning something 13 years with this one, 10 years with this one. He actually going towards that teacher for 10 years to learn one knowledge. For these 13 years, these 16 years. So not really like our time right now. We said for the person, just learn by yourself. Because like we said in the fifth summarization, you have to take the text of the knowledge and you have to have the guider, the guru or the teacher that will teach you the meaning for everything. Because if you don't have that too, you don't ever arrive at the knowledge. You cannot get the knowledge actually. So that's why he said here, because tau aman, if you put a twin to run beside one another, then actually they will not arrive at the finishing line. That's why if you learn knowledge, even the similarities of the knowledge, you must not put it side by side. Like if you say you learn ulum Quran and you learn about mustalah about usul tafsir, they have the similarities, but actually the usul tafsir is actually more specific towards knowing how to Quran being explained, and how for you to explain the Quran, to know the meaning of the Quran, how Quran being known, how being known its meaning before, and how you right now want to learn about it. So if you go into that certain knowledge, at the same time, ulum Quran is actually, the usul tafsir is inside the ulum Quran. And inside the ulum Quran, you can get many things. Many topic is in there. Even the tafsir itself is ulum Quran. Usul tafsir is not tafsir. Tafsir is you learn about whatever the explanatory. The usul tafsir is how Quran being explained. So this type of knowledge, you cannot go towards one another at the same time. Learn one by one. Learn by one, because if you don't focus, you distracted. You'll be distracted by the other one. So that's why he said, "Inna taw'aman istabaqa la yakhruja." Because twins, if they run with each other, they will not go away. They will not get out from the field. Waman arafa min nafsihi qudratan alal jam'i jama'a. Whoever know from himself the strength or the capability to gather everything, then gather. Wa kanat haluhu istithna'an min umum. And his situation is actually exceptional from anybody else. So when we say about it, we say about for anybody else, that's the way to gather the knowledge, to honor the knowledge, and to get the knowledge. But for a person, must make sure you learn all of it as summarization, and after that you go into one of it that is actually more equivalent to your character, and go deep into it. But then they want to finish this first, and then go into other. If you have the capability, then you are actually extraordinary. An exempt from this rules or this way of learning. If not, then you have to go into all of the knowledge, then pick one and finish that one before you go into deep into the other art of knowledge. Alhamdulillah, we finish it today. So like always, we will go into question. If there is question from our okay, there are question. Assalamualaikum Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Assalamualaikum Ustaz. Is it permissible for us to stop learning certain knowledge once we feel we already know enough of said knowledge? It's actually no such thing. But maybe if you have the knowledge, but you should not actually stop from learning. Learning is actually a process that should not be stopped. Means that if you learn about grammar, you finish one book, two books, then go into other side, then find another book for you just for reference to look into it. Don't ever say that enough, because knowledge will never be enough. A knowledge is not enough for anybody. Like we said before, if a person want to learn a knowledge for 1,000 years, he will not finish. He will not finish. Even 1,000 years, if you read and read and read, you will not finish the knowledge. Just one knowledge. So in taking that knowledge, you actually don't left it out, because when you left it out, you will forget about it, and we forget about it. Actually, will affect your understanding after that. So you cannot say that you have enough from a knowledge. Is there such thing as good or bad knowledge? If so, is it permissible for Muslim to learn this bad knowledge in order to remind people of the dangers of the learning bad knowledge? Okay, this is what we say, one of the opinion of the scholars when they explain the verse, the surah Al-Quran, verse number 102 of Surah Al-Baqarah, that talking, the Allah Ta'ala said in that ayat about the magic. You know, magic, sihir. Magic is sihir. So Allah Ta'ala said in that ayat about sihir. So one of the commentator of the Quran, but he is actually following the understanding of philosophy, he said that it is a must for a person to learn magic, so that he will know what is magic and what is not magic. He said something like that, but actually it is wrong, because it is wrong. Bad knowledge, something that is not beneficial, something that is beneficial. You want to know if bad or not. Something that is actually harmful towards mankind, towards your relationship with Allah, towards your relationship with mankind. Something like that is not supposed to be learned. You learn something that if you recite this or you do this, the person will die. You don't ever learn something like that. For what? Not beneficial for you. So that is why we say among the knowledge is actually beneficial or harmful towards you. Harmful to like we say, a knowledge how to woo a woman, to we say flirt with a woman, is something that is harmful. Unless you use it just for your wife, then it's actually halal. If you learn it and you use it to others, then it's actually not supposed to be done. And also you don't have to learn it, because it is not giving you any beneficial. Because Allah Ta'ala said in that ayah, in the end of the 102 Surah Al-Baqarah, فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ. So they learn something that harmful for them, not beneficial for them. فَيَتَعَلَّمُ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ. They learn something that is actually harmful for them, harming them, not beneficial for them. Allah Ta'ala said something like that. So the learning, the process, really, like you said, Allah Ta'ala condemn the learning of magic. So you don't ever do something like that. You don't say that you want to make yourself actually doesn't do that. You didn't have to learn. Just to know, it's actually know, not learning. You have to differentiate knowing and learning. To know something and to learn something is different thing. To know something, you know what the person do or did to make something happen. But you don't go there and try the knowledge. You go and take the chanting, go into the cave and start to chant, and to feel how is the shaitan came to you and helping you to do the magic. That is not supposed to happen. To know the thing happen, yes. To learn, no, you don't learn. It's very harmful for you. For example, a Muslim enters entertainment industry working as a cameraman, but then retires to become a lecturer who teaches cinematography, is it permissible? So if actually when the person actually teach cinematography, or as to how to take pictures, making it good look or not, this is nothing too bad, or it's actually double-edged sword. You can use it for goodness, like we do our lectures here, and our cameraman doing that. Or you can do something that's bad, or taking pictures of uncovered aura women, that doesn't cover their aura, or taking pictures that's shameful to others. You can do some idea of that. It's just something like learning the internet or computer. It's double-edged sword. You use for good or badness. It's just like a knife in your hand. So you cannot say that cinematography, just take it to that point. To tell about the knowledge that you say about the knife, which how to use it, is not really something is bad. So it's actually after that, for the student to use to what they use the knowledge about the cinematography, that's the thing will happen. So if the person teaching the student about the cinematography, if become lectures, then he must remind them about what is halal and haram. Halal and haram. Then the thing actually being actually permissible for him to teach, because the understanding of cinematography is actually more on experience than whatever written is in the book. Because a second person want to learn about that, he must take it from the knowledgeable person that already done it and actually happen to get the result. Just by reciting or reading from the book, you cannot get that knowledge. So that knowledge can be beneficial for Islam, like in program or in lectures for Islam. So in presenting the lectures to become more preferable or acceptable by others, then this cinematography knowledge is actually beneficial for goodness, inshallah. But if to do a commercial for a woman to show their armpit, essentially that is not supposed to do. It's not supposed to happen. Maybe the teacher said that if you want to make sure that the armpit is clear, you take this angle and every angle. That is not supposed to happen. So the lecturer must say to the students that this is not permissible. This is shameful. We never ever walking around like that. You don't walking around. But right now, in our commercial, in our television, mainstream media, that you want to watch the news, but between the news, there's women walking like that. I don't understand what happened to our nation. And people especially women showing their armpit to others. Allahu A'lam, what happened to us? This is actually our new level of thinking. New level of thinking. No, not new level. New level of thinking. What happened to us? So the cinematographer that know halal and haram must highlight to his student. Highlight the student. Maybe the student before doesn't have that understanding that in taking the pictures or showing off whatever being showed off in their videos or their pictures, they are halal and they are haram. So telling them which halal is haram is actually something good, beneficial for the student. Inshallah. Assalamualaikum Ustaz. Rasulullah SAW is unlettered person to prove that he's a true messenger. Is it meaning also that Rasulullah SAW can't write or read? Yes. Is it happen also until his last day? Yes. Until his last day, he doesn't read or write. Because the Prophet ﷺ, even the memorization of Al-Quran, the Prophet ﷺ doesn't need to repeat it like us. We want to memorize Quran, we have to continuously repeating the ayah or the surah many times until it's actually happen to be memorized by our head. But the Prophet ﷺ, when he memorized the Quran is actually like being poured into his heart. That's what Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran in Surah Al-A'la. Sanukri'uka fala tansa. We will recite it for you and you will not forget it. So the Prophet doesn't need anything from written. That's why even in writing letters to the head of empires like the Roman and the Roman emperor, the Persian emperor, the Prophet SAW have a writer to write for him. Even the Quran, when revealed to the Prophet SAW, the Prophet appoint around 42 person to write the Quran from him. So he doesn't read nor write. See, that, and it never ever become a shame for him, because that attributes is good for him. Like I said, for Allah Ta'ala, something is good for Allah but not good for us. Actually, eligible by Allah Ta'ala is actually have the attributes, but we cannot have the attributes. This is the same. Assalamualaikum Ustaz. Do you have any tips to empower our power memorization, especially when it comes to memorizing Quran and Hadith? The only thing that being said by Imam Bukhari is kasratut tikrar. Repeat it frequently. Actually, by repeating it, Bukhari rahimahullah, even though his memorization is actually really good, but he say to others, if you want to memorize, then repeat it frequently, then you will memorizing it, inshallah. That's the only way. Maybe you can add up drinking honey, or eating dates, dates, or no, something more, not dates, kismis. What is it in the dried grapes, dried grapes. What do you say about that? Ki grapes, kismis, resins. Yeah, resins. So maybe inshallah can help a little. And also the other thing is actually what UI is actually looking at. You have to make sure that you're not looking into things that is not appropriate, because you want to make Quran inside yourself. But if inside yourself is actually quite dirty, with many improper thought, that you look into the movies and the dramas, that will hinder the capability of memorization. So you have to take care about few things: your hearing, your sight, and media social. You have to take less time to be in the social media. Don't make your time more into Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or anything, because that will make your inner self or desire thinking about that only. You're not thinking about the memorization. Reasons, okay. So when memorization, you can help by repeating it many times, and there is actually an apps in the Google Store or Play Store. I don't know whether they already have in Apple Store. The apps is actually titled Tahfiz. That app is actually so useful. If you want to use it to help you to memorize the Quran, you can freely use it. That app is actually in that apps you can choose any reciter that you like. Secondly, any verse of the surah that you like, and how many times you want that app to recite it to you. Even you can make it to recite to you 3 times, 7 times, 10 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times. That way, when you're hearing it continuously, inshallah, it will help you memorize the Quran. Because that ayah, when I tried that software, that apps, and I told other students to use it, the app will play for you. Like if you say, take the surah An-Naba, you have take the 3 ayah, and you said you pick, for for the ayah to be repeated a few times. So it will continuously recite to you amma yatasaalun, amma yatasaalun, amma yatasaalun. If you can hear it continuously, inshallah, you can memorize it easily, inshallah. That's the way, inshallah. Yeah? So you can try. The app is actually tahfiz. I don't know how to share it for you. Tahfiz. In the Google Store, Google app is there. Yeah. Yes. Share it to them. So inshallah, our media, we share it for you. Then you can try that app. So even the reciter can be choose, and the gap between the recitation can be used. If you play it continuously, inshallah, it will help you to memorize the Quran. Wallahi alhamd. So inshallah, we stop here. Then inshallah, we will continue inshallah next week with the 7th summarization. Okay. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa sallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, Mukri also can be used.